Japan has been on my list of countries to visit for the longest time. When the pandemic stopped my plans of visiting, the urge to go only grew stronger. The plan was straightforward. Start off in Tokyo, then head over to Kyoto for 2 days, Osaka for another 2, a Kanazawa day trip, and finish off the trip with Tokyo again. If it sounds like a lot on paper, it's because it is. I've been interested in this country's cultural and historical aspects since learning about it in school, and I gotta say, I'm thoroughly impressed with their streamlined efficiency. It was easier than expected to figure out how to use their public transportation system. As the bustling Shibuya life welcomed my arrival, I realized that I had to scramble at least a few times. These pancake soufflés at Hoshino Coffee were delicious and came with a decent view. Now, being a native Angelino came with the inevitable comparisons. Mostly through familiarization of transit, cultural hotspots, and the innate desire to explore the city's trinkets by foot. Tokyo's blend of architectural designs from low-rise buildings to skinny apartments and rooftop parks put the sheer complexity of a city into perspective. I accepted early on that I was only going to scratch the surface of this boundless, concrete jungle. Shinjuku was a real treat. Tokyo Tower cemented itself as a permanent memory. And the Tokyo Central Station is a universe to explore on its own. But I'm just getting started. Kyoto was a city I was really looking forward to visiting. As the old capital of Japan, you really sense the historical progression of a nation that has existed for so long. I learned more about geishas specifically. For those who aren't familiar with geisha, it's a profession of women who are trained in traditional Japanese performing arts styles. This includes music, dancing, and singing. They're called geikos here in Kyoto, and the entire process to become one is rigorous. Young women who are in training are referred to as maikos. They are dressed more elegantly, while geikos dress with more reserved apparel. You can differentiate them by their hairstyles, what they wear, and their makeup. Essentially, these women are entertainers who interact with you in a precise and practiced way. They are well educated, and this is reflected in their exceptional conversational abilities. Typically, an experience can range from hundreds to thousands of dollars. An investment I imagine is worth saving for in the near future. Walking through the Gion district with a cool touring guide, I learned that these ancient practices are still highly revered today. And how could they not be? Kyoto encompasses the old traditions of the past in a modern digitally dependent world. When you're here, you'll feel the tranquility of the night and an overall laid-back ambience. Unfortunately, I only spent 1 day in Kyoto. I'll definitely come back. So, have I talked about the food yet? I should get to that. Osaka, the city that has been dubbed as the kitchen of Japan. In the original itinerary, only 2 days were to be spent here. That was extended to 3 days, and I'm not mad it turned out this way. The food was delicious. Shinsekai, the new world in Japanese, hosts some of the best tasting food I had on the trip. Of course, authentic ramen and sushi had to be tried. You can find a variety of foods here. I had Turkish food and ice cream. There was a hole in the wall with tasty soup. The list goes on. I can ramble about the highlights for ages, but something worth mentioning is the people. To put it simply, the vibes here are different, especially compared to Tokyo. It's easier to synchronize too. I had interactions with locals who approached me and asked me where I was from, striking up friendly conversations. Their welcoming attitude resonated with me, as it enhanced the trip tenfold. Now, the last city to tackle before heading back to Tokyo. Since I only had a day in Kanazawa, a city rooted in samurai history, I wanted to do as much as I could. First on my list was Kenrokuen Garden. This place transports you centuries back in time. It was built by the Maeda clan during the Edo period. Construction started in 1676 and was finally opened to the public in 1874. This stunning garden is worth a visit during any season. Just double check if it's open during your visit. It was a great place to clear my mind. I was too short on time, so sadly I got to the Higashi-Chaya district and it was already closed for the day. I also got rained on, so I started heading back to my hotel. Quick fun fact about this place. Just like Kyoto, this is another traditional hotspot for geishas. There are several tea houses here as well. Like I said when I was talking about Kyoto, I'll return soon enough. The second half of Tokyo introduced me to my first ever tatami mat. That's because I stayed at a ryokan, which is like a hotel with traditional elements. The rooms have tatami mats, public bathrooms, and you're able to talk with the owner. I had some of the best sushi of the trip over at Akihabara. However, I think my favorite part was exploring Tokyo Station's underground. All the stores I sifted through allowed me to nab some badass souvenirs. And, on one fateful night, a passenger in the subway yelled at the top of his lungs, prompting the idea of a karaoke session for one final goodbye. Heading back to the ryokan that last night, I dreaded not only the flight back home, but ending what felt like a dream the entire time. My dream was to explore a different part of the world and learn as much as possible. It resulted in more than that. It showed me a distinct way of life, one that incorporates efficiency with mindfulness. I couldn't be more grateful for another successful voyage, and believe me, it's certainly not my last time here in Japan. Alright nerds, this is my stop. Until next time, your favorite astronaut, the Voyager.